going on, everybody? Little tank maintenance today and doing some fish movement. Haven't done water changes in the big tanks in a little bit. I just did a water change on this one. So I'm going to do all 4 of these. And there's a couple 40s over there and a couple 40s back here I'm going to do. And I'm also going to move some fish around. And kind of keep an eye on them too. All right. Let's see how this goes. All right, let's go to this tank here. Where can I put you, iPad? What's up, Shafton? What's up, Shafton? Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out. Gotta fix this sponge filter. Hi, Malaysia. Hi, Malaysia. Do I have bass? What do you mean? Do I have bass? What do you mean? Well, there's some echo, it seems like. Hey, Jen. hear that screaming? Hi, Jennifer. Yikes. Wonder why that scream is so... I do not have bass, if that's what you mean. I do not have bass, if that's what you mean. Alright, got that sponge filter fixed. Not sure why you guys are hearing that high-pitched scream. It's never happened before. But yeah, these guys are not gonna like me. That screaming is harsh. Hey, Kira and Shrimple. That's crazy. I'm not sure why you hear that loud pitched screaming. That's pretty bad. Is it still pretty bad for you guys that are still here? Is it still pretty loud? Is it still pretty bad for you guys that are still here? Is it still pretty loud? Let me know if you can. I have my phone on. It's bearable. I don't know if that has something to do with it. But I'm using my phone as a camera. It's a little higher quality than the old school tablet. Because I'm trying to keep up with chat at the same time whenever I'm doing the maintenance and whatnot. Let me see if I can go back over here. See what it does. Seems quieter. Can you hear me now? Let me see if I can feedback from the phone maybe? Yeah, that could be. I'm just trying to pick a good spot so you don't hear that feedback. Seems better though. I'm just trying to pick a good spot so you don't hear that feedback. Seems better though. But anyways, this doing some maintenance, so just water changes. This is just a Seche Ultra Zero pump. There goes that screaming again. And I just have this switch over here, and it's connected to the outlet. And I just turn it on. tablet over here. Thanks, Pier and Shrimple. Yeah, it must be some type of feedback from my phone. But yeah, anyways, I'm just using the pump and it's going. I'll show you guys here. So as I'm doing my water change, it's just going in, not in the trash can, but it's just going right into my bathroom. And then after I'm done, there was a short I put out that had quite a lot of views on it. But here's my return hose, and this actually goes here, and here, up here, and actually goes all the way down here. Hi Jake. It actually goes all the way down there, and then it goes into my slop sink. And then here's where I fill up. So this is where the hose goes back. This is an old house. It's originally built in the 1940s. So there is some what looks like something out of a Saw movie, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So it goes behind this wall. If you guys haven't seen my video, I would recommend seeing it. But my brother and I, we put this all together. And this is where I do my live YouTube streams whenever I go live to chat with you guys. But yeah, that's where that hose goes. Is it just comes from that slop sink from over here. So I'll set you guys down again. Yeah, that has to be feedback from the tablet, because my tablet's not in range anymore. I think the noise stopped. I don't think you guys hear it anymore, because I don't hear it. Unless it has something to do with where my phone is, because I noticed it's starting to come back a little bit. I wonder. Well, a lot of these walls have been redone as far as paint goes. Yeah, I'm not sure. I like to mute this, but then you wouldn't be able to hear me talk. So I wonder if I can put this somewhere else. I wonder if it has something to do with what's in the basement. Come with me, guys. I'm gonna place you guys somewhere else. Bear with me. This was kind of a spot-on decision of going live, so let's see if I can get this to work. Do I have a speaker? Well, like I said, I have a tablet. So my phone is doing the view of the tanks and then the tablet, but I actually moved the tablet away from my phone. So I don't know. Yeah, it's a pretty sharp noise for sure. I'm not going to do a whole big water change on this one because the water change on this one was semi-recent, and there's a bunch of little fish in this one. They are a bunch of, I believe it's Apache, red Apache peacocks, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I don't know. It must be has something to do with the basement. I did bring the tablet a little closer. I'm wondering if the tablet and the phone is having some interference. Alright, so I moved my tablet away. Let's see if that goes away. It did. I don't get it. So that's kind of annoying. Yeah, it is loud. So you're asking how often do I do a water change? Since these guys are so small, and with they're not producing enough waste, especially with double sponge filters, I probably do a water change once every few weeks or so, 2 to 3 weeks. But as they get bigger, I'll do more. So if you guys didn't see, this is what's coming from my slop sink. So I gotta go do that. I gotta go run over there and turn it back on. Fun fact is, my water comes from a well, so I don't have a lot of those chloramine and chlorine stuff that like city water has, but I still like to put water conditioner in here. This is the stuff I use. It comes in a big case. It's just like whenever I have fish in here, it protects them with slime coat and actually detoxifies heavy metals. And a lot of the, whenever I got my water tested, there's some slight, a little bit more metals in it. So that's why I still used a chlorinator, just to detoxify some of those metals. But let me go turn the water on. Jake, you're asking this is all the tanks that I have? No, I have a lot of tanks down here. There's two 60-gallon breeders, two 75s, two 40 breeders behind me, 9 10s, 6 20s, two 40-gallon breeders, two 29s, a 55, a 20-gallon fry tank, and 3 55s. 2 was on the wall, and The one is just used as a grow out tank. Plus my show tanks up front. For anyone who doesn't know, these tanks, like everything down here except for my live stream wall that my brother and I made, is nothing but a fry operation, because I have the 4 breeding tanks, and then I use everything else for grow out. That water's a little warm. I'll be right back. It's surprisingly enough, it's not so much the water bill, it's more so the electric bill to run that pump coming from my well is what I'm getting, because I don't have a water bill. I have, well, I guess I take that back. I have a water bill, but it's like, it costs me the same amount every month. So I just pay that same, I think it's like $50-something a month. But it's the electric bill that goes up a little bit because of having to run, because this basement's heated, but it's not heated well enough because I only have one vent coming in this entire basement. So the heaters don't run as much in the summertime, having a full season, spring, summer, fall, and winter. But they do a lot of work in the wintertime. Let me see if I can multitask here. Hey, tanks and fish, Pier and Shrimple. I love that name, Pier and Shrimple. I think I've seen you before and it made me laugh. So this tank here is nothing but golden imbunas, also called Eratus, but they're basically named golden imbunas. If you guys ever look into this type of fish or know anything about them, they're known to be pretty aggressive, and it's better to keep them in a community-only tank, like only golden imbunas, because they can be very territorial and aggressive towards other kinds of fish. I know from experience, so this is kind of what I'm excited to see these guys grow out more, because the males, they actually turn to more of a black color, to a dark purple, more, I think more so black. That tank's almost done filling up. I gotta start paying attention. But these, like I said, the males will actually turn to a black color as they mature into age, and then they'll stay that permanent color, as opposed to staying the more like white, yellow, and black. The females stay that way. So that's how you can tell if those are male or female when they're older. So my main goal is to not have any tanks overfill. Should be able to have just enough time to get this in here. Yep, pure and shrimple. Love it. Uh-oh. I don't want to suck up a bunch of sand with this one. See, this is how I do these four here. Is I have this hose going from fill this thing up, and then I have this switch here to turn on my pump to go into my bathroom. All right, I'll be right back. Do I have any pets other than fish? No, I do not. This is it. I don't think my schedule would be too happy with having more than just fish, because plenty of mouths to feed. We'll see though. Yeah, we'll see. Let's do, let me do one of these sponge filters. Because a lot of times, whenever I do any type of maintenance with sponge filters, I don't like to do both of them. And then I'll do the other one like a couple, or maybe a week or two later. Where did I leave that container at? Oh, there it is. Another thing that's nice about having well water, not that it makes much of a difference, is I don't have to worry a lot about those chlorine and chloramine, or however you want to say it. A lot of these sponge filters, especially if I have a well-established tanks, which these are all really well established. I just rinse these sponge filters out in tap water, and I don't have to worry too much about. I don't have to worry too much about losing hardly any beneficial bacteria because of that city water stuff that I don't have. I just have to keep in mind though that with well water, you know, you always have to be, if anyone else has well water, you have to kind of be mindful of the seasons change and, you know, how much rain that you get, and because that all can affect your well water too. Because, you know, that's all stuff that's coming from the ground. So could I get away with using no water conditioner? I've done it before and it's been fine. But to buy water conditioner, those big jugs, especially for how many tanks that I have, it saves me money instead of buying smaller bottles, and it's really not that expensive, especially when I buy them from the big jugs. So it don't bother me none. And it doesn't bother fish none, so that's a plus. Jake, you were asking if fish are allergic to anything? Is that a serious question? I like the question. I like the interaction. I appreciate it. I don't know. Have you ever seen any fish sneeze before? Because if you do, I want to see a video of it. Man, I really wish I could bring the tablet over here, but I think that's the main reason why I was getting that harsh ringing earlier. It is an old tablet, so I don't know if that has something to do with it too. That tablet, I believe, is like, it might be close to 6-7 years old, I'm assuming. I guess a follow-up to your question about if fish are allergic to anything, I mean, if I had to do any relative comment to that, would be you have to be careful with what you feed them. You know, do your homework, know what they need to be fed. Like imbunas need more of a veggie diet. Your peacock and haps, they need more of a protein diet. And then your community fish, they're pretty basic. You can feed them just about anything off the counter that says community fish, you know. So I have never been too picky with community fish tanks, like your neon tetras and your guppies and mollies and cories and stuff like that. Get some pellets that sink well for your bottom tank or for your bottom feeder fish, like your plecos and your cories and stuff. But I think it all just depends on how much you feed them, because if you feed them too much, especially, you have to be really particular with Malawi, Lake Malawi cichlids, because if you feed them too much and the wrong diet, there's a lot of fillers in the fish food, and you really have to be particular about the back side of the nutrition part of the food, because if there's a lot of stuff that's not supposed to be there, like, let me look on the back of one of mine. Like, here's what I've been, since the goodness have been growing up a little bit, I've been giving them this veggie. They're really tiny pellets, but you don't want to, you want a low content of like ash and a low content of just fillers and moisture and stuff, like around 10% give or take is kind of what you're looking for. But you also have to do your homework of what your fish needs. North fin, I have had no issues with myself personally. I have been using that most of the time, and Extreme I've been using. Hold on a second. But I have not had good luck with Omega 1. For some reason, I mean, the fish like it, but they just seem to get bigger bellies with it, and I try to feed them. I'm just trying to use some of it up, but also I need to be very, very slim with that. I'd rather feed them the Extreme pellets or the North Fin. All right, fill her up. And like I said before, I always put in at least a little bit of water conditioner with this, just because of the metals that I do get in my well water. So, pure and triple, you're using all community fish, huh? That's all good. If you don't mind, what do you feed your community fish? Is there a certain brand that you like that has worked well for you? Because I was actually looking into that. So pure and triple, this is the stuff that I use. And it actually has done me well. But I was trying to give my community fish a little bit more of a variety, and I just really haven't looked into it enough. Also, what do you guys think of the vertical live streams? This is my first time in a few weeks, or probably more than that actually, where I'm doing a vertical live stream instead of a horizontal live stream. Some people love it because it's phone savvy, but others don't if they're watching on like a TV or computer. That water's too warm again. Figured that would happen. That makes sense, pure and shrimple. And Dixon, I think, is it Juanita, is what I understand, I guess, correctly. Thanks for coming in. But appreciate the input here in Trimble. These, I have to look on my phone. I have a phone app because I have so many tanks to keep up on how often I do my water changes. These tanks have been around long enough in the fish room that, when I say long enough, several months is usually pretty good establishment. But if I have to do any type of filter maintenance, especially if there's two of them, I like to wait at least, I don't know, several months is probably good as long as you have a decent colonized beneficial bacteria on your glass, your substrate, your decorations. But a good solid colonized tank, I like to leave things about a year before I can officially do like full filter maintenance on the entire tank. And I'll do like, whenever I first start a tank, I'll rinse the sponge filter. Like if I have one sponge filter in a new tank, I like to use the tank water just as a precautionary to make sure that everything goes okay. But then once the tanks get established, like I said with my well water, I don't have to worry about any of that city water crap that's in my tank. Alright, let's catch up with you guys. Wait a minute. I can do this while waiting too. Where is my keyboard? I swear I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached. I'll take this one filter out. Do some maintenance on it. Good thing is though, a lot of that beneficial bacteria is still, it'll still be in that filter. I mean, if you ever look at your Primetime Aquatics, he's like a biochemist, and he's like extremely knowledgeable about anything and everything when it has to do with fish keeping, and he knows the chemistry behind it, and he's the one that has confirmed with John from KG Tropicals that it's okay to rinse your established filter in clean tap water, because you have to take consideration how long the tank has been established, where the Like say if you have a canister filter or just a simple sponge filter, depending how big it is, hang on the backs, and how long it's been in service. I mean, there's just a lot of considerations to take in effect of how it's being safe and where your water's coming from too. But it also has a lot to do with like time and how long that you do your maintenance on your filters. Because the longer you have, like say like your canister filters and you do maintenance on those, from what I understand just by going from the videos I've watched with him, is he explains that it has a lot to do with time as well, on how much time it's spent outside the tank water aquarium. So that's a little bit of food for thought. I was going to go back to chat, but I'm getting close to one of my tank level here. Water's still staying about 78, so that's pretty good. My slop sink water, you make like the tiniest adjustment on it and it changes the temperature. Like you might give it a gentle nudge and it might change it by a few degrees. So sometimes it takes a minute to get like the right temperature. I have to be careful with this tank whenever I do water changes because the very top of this corner leaks, and it's been this is a new tank, so I just have to be careful with it not to fill it up too high because the very top will leak, which is no problem because I have it filled up to just a hairline above this black border around here. And you want a little bit of space in between your tanks too. So you have those filters to have enough room to oxygenate the tank. Like Dixon, I think that's how I remembered that it was Juanita because you're on Salient / streams a lot. So and I think he was calling you Juanita, so that's good to know. So Pier and Triple, you were asking me about the hot tap. If you could elaborate on that a little bit more for me. These things I've said already is just, like I said, I just have well water, I just have my slop sink, so I'm not too sure about a hot tap. I do have, some of the pipes are copper, but some of them have been replaced, so it's kind of a mixture between both. Hey, Red Laser. So Juanita, what is the closed ecosystem? I'm curious about that. Oh, so they're used for the hot water then. So, let me look real quick. Alright, so I pretty much already knew this. I just wanted to, I was like 90% sure. But most of it's galvanized, old, you know, like I said, my house is from the 1940s. So most of it's the galvanized piping. And there's like sections where it's copper. Like very small sections, and then there's some sections where it's plastic tubing where it goes into like lower pressure spots and stuff, but I'm just kind of looking at my pipes above here, and I think whenever they updated this house before we moved in, I have some of it that's copper, and then more towards the water heater there's a lot of galvanized piping, like where it first comes in from the well and goes in through a water softener system. So all that's galvanized, and then a lot of the copper is kind of like the pipes that lead into the different sections of the house, along with like some, like the blue tubing and the red tubing, and then you have like white, just plastic tubing, I guess you could say. Pure and Trimple, are we supposed to play bingo here? What are you talking about? I don't play bingo. All right, if you can hear me, Juanita, you said that I did the design on all the house plumbing. Next is what it sounds like you had is very high pressure, heat and freeze resistant to very low and high temps. Yep. If you know about it, you probably know about it more than I do. So that sounds about right. It makes sense to me. You guys, Pure and Triple, you guys play fish bingo? So what do you have, like different fish names or pictures of them? Is it like on the phone or something? Is there an app for it? Or is it like on the website or something? Hey, James Pitts is here. Telling me to get back to work. Hey, it's I am getting back to work. Fish work. Anyway, I think you should get back to work. Don't you have some pipeline pumps to do oil changes on? Yeah, Juanito, I'll have to come check that out. What's for lunch, James? Better be something good. And if there's leftovers, I expect you to bring them back over here. All right. Got 4 more water changes to go, and they're on the 40-gallon breeder tanks. 2 behind you guys and 2 over there. And that should clear my water changes for a little bit. Spaghetti and meatballs, left over from last night, I assume? Or like a meatball sandwich. Alright, so I'm going to switch this. These things are lifesavers. They're like, since I have so many tanks in various spots, it's just a switch. So whenever I plug in pumps, they don't automatically come on. I can just plug them in, and then when they're in the tank, I can just flip the switch. Juanita, what size tanks do your water changes on? And James, is that cheesecake from special cheesecake from what your mom makes? I think. I hope at least. I'm about due for another one of those cheesecakes if she still makes them. $20 to $55. Not too shabby. Which is that your biggest size tank, Juanita? Is it 55? Ooh, Reese cup. Oh yeah. We might have to look into that here. Nothing better than peanut butter Reese cup cheesecake. All right, no more dragging your feet, Juanita. Time to get going. I'm starting the maintenance on the 40-gallon breeder down below. I'm about done filling this up, so this is probably too boring for you guys. This is the one I'm filling up. But this was the first water change. There's nothing in here. There's gonna be stuff in here. These are the golden Neurotis or golden Buddha. What I was talking about earlier between the males and females, see how this male here, he's starting to change color already? Whereas the females, they're going to stay that white, black, and yellow. I mean, this guy's definitely changing too. There's one guy in here that he was born without a back fin, like the very back tail fin. I'm trying to find him now. Right here. Look at this guy. He's happy and healthy and doing just fine. Has no back fin. He's growing just like everybody else. These guys are Kenny Eye. These guys are kind of similar as far as coloring changing. Like these guys are the males, especially the more dominant ones. They're more of they turn yellow as they get older, and they stay that way. Whereas the females stay like the lighter blue and black stripe. And these guys are still kind of small, but I needed to move them to make room. But these are the red Apache peacocks I was talking about. But they don't really have a whole lot of color to them yet because they're still young. But let me, I gotta shut the water off here soon. Here's my 40 breeders. This is what I'm going to be doing water changes on next. I'll catch up with chat here in a second while I'm waiting for this 75 gallon to fill up. It's almost done. That is the main goal today, is to get all these water changes done, stay on with you guys live, and not have a single tank overfill. I've only done it once in my life, and it was actually, I believe it was this one. There is a, hold on a second. I can't get distracted. All right, let me catch back up with chat. Water's draining now, looking good. All right, see you later, James. Get back to work. Juanita, yeah, it's Joe. When I first started my channel, I was naming myself Price Tag because it's kind of a nickname that I've developed since high school. And it's just been been used here and there throughout my life. And now since I started this channel, and people at work, certain people at work, they'll call me Price Tag too. And since I started this channel, it's just one of the things that people have just been calling me, so you can call me Price Tag, PT. I think Jesse from Sailing Aquatics, he calls me Pete Tag, so that's kind of a unique thing. And then, so whatever you want. You can call me anything you want, as long as it's not like, I mean, if you want to be YouTube friendly, you can pick out a select few words. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, whatever you want to do, Joe, PT. A guy I work with, his name's John, he calls me PT. Or sometimes Pop-Tart Joe. Because sometimes I'll have Pop-Tarts for breakfast on my break at work, so that's where he got that from. Oh, you're in Shrimple. Is it pronounced Mary? I'm assuming. All right. These stupid thermometers. Sometimes I just wedge these things in somewhere because these things just don't stick. They're kind of pathetic. The temperature works great. I don't know if this will. Yeah. Don't really have anything to wedge this in anywhere. I have a one that goes against the wall, but these things are almost pointless. I mean this isn't going to stick to the glass; it's just going to float. I'll figure out a different way to put that on at some point. All right. I'm really bad with names, so I'll more than likely just call you Shrimple. I like that. I'm better with nicknames because I remember those a little bit better. So one thing that I have, whoa, glad you guys are still with me. That was scary. Whenever we're working with breeding tanks, is whenever I do water changes in the breeding tanks to kind of enhance the breeding a little bit, is I'll make the water temperature that I replace with be a little bit colder to kind of mimic like something if it was, out in nature. So if you have like a tropical storm or something like that, that it kind of promotes the breeding process. So whenever I do water changes, that's what I do. And it actually works because after I do a water change, usually I have at least one of the fish end up holding, and then I can strip the eggs and put it in the tumbler. having to kind of go back and forth here. So I kind of like, my whole purpose of using my phone is so I could set the tablet like close by my phone so I can keep up with chat while I'm having the camera pointed at the tank. So now I have to go back and forth, otherwise I'm going to get that ear-piercing ringing you were hearing earlier. There's a Walterite hap in here. I did a video on it not too long ago. Buying fish online. And I've never had a Walterite hap before. These are haps up top and these are peacocks down here. Now most of the time I don't even mess with any of the decorations just because the fish are kind of used to where things are at and they're comfortable. And I like to keep the beneficial bacteria on them as well. If I ever do, like say if like the decorations get really bad to where it's like almost black, I might put a little bit to them, a little bit of TLC, but I really particularly don't like to mess with them. Both of these tanks actually I have to be careful with whenever I'm filling the water back up because these stands that I have here are like slightly not level. By slightly I mean it's not a big deal. They're still very sturdy and they work well and I've had no issue with it. But I just have to watch because I have to make sure the tank level. That's why I was saying earlier that I've had problems with, not problems, but I've had the one time where the tank overfilled, and that's because that's very slight tilt on the back. I had to like position this tank specifically in a spot because if I had it too far back, it was, you know, the floor is a little uneven in spots. So this stand actually took me a long time to position well so it was level. But it's in a good spot now and I've had no issue since. A little bit cooler. Let's see what the temp is. Just another temperature. It's about 76, maybe 76.5. If I'm just going by the one on the sidewall there. Water coming in is about 72. I have one of those temperature probes that you used to use for like grilling. And I just use that with the tap water before I put it in the tank. Well, thanks, Juanita. I try to do great things. So my bottle is empty right now, so I just put this funnel on top and then I just dump a bunch of the stress coat in so that way I don't have to use his big jug every time I do water changes. I just throw a little bit of it in and call it a day. Alright, so this is where I gotta start being careful here. FYI, I did not use these for oil changes in my car. I literally bought, whenever I go buy stuff for fish tanks, I specifically buy them for fish tanks only. So don't panic that I might have used these for something else. This big brute trash can that I have next to me, fish stuff only. I specifically bought it brand new for this exact reason. I did do maintenance on the one sponge filter back there. That one's not as coarse as the other one. And a lot of times those one filters, if they're not as coarse, kind of have to do maintenance on them a little bit more often. That's good right there. I'm going to let that water run a little bit. And I'm almost done emptying the top tank. Yeah, it dropped down to about 76, 75. So a couple degrees, not too drastic. Just this. This is me being picky. Alright, so this one should be good. For any of you guys who don't know, one thing that if you guys get a Python or use a Python is they're not rated for high pressure water, like say if you deadhead it, because that's why whenever I close this I only do it temporarily to put it into this brute trash can and let it run, or I just go off to the faucet and turn it off. But this hose is not rated for high pressure testing, only for a short minute, so otherwise you might have issues where the seals are or where the connections are, and it just damages the equipment. So a little bit of food for thought there. Baby goat beds. How do you make baby goat beds? I don't like live on a farm or really don't have any room for goats, but there's some people at work that own some goats, so I was wondering if you just make them with hay or something like that, or are you talking about real goats? Like, I'm assuming so. All right, so I'm gonna move you guys over this way. Get rid of this. Bear with me here. Here's my 10s. At 20 longs. I call this my dragon cage. I love this tank because you can walk all the way around it. So here's my other 40 breeders. I got to keep an eye on my water level here. There's that ringing. That's really crazy how that has such an effect. You know, it probably has to do with the tablet being old. I don't know. See if I can move this elsewhere. Alright, we still got you guys alive in here? So what I have to do, since these tanks are so far away, this is where I use my trash can. I actually have a pump. I think I need to go get it. But forgot that I got a new pump per se. But I believe it's still in the box and I gotta unbox it, so I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Let's see what I was looking for. Come on, magnet. These are yellow lavambuna and ACI yellowtail. Alright, glass is clean. Move on to the next one. Last two water changes for today. This one feels, I guess it's still 78. I have to find a extension cord. Maybe. Nope. Got it right here. So that's like, seemed pretty comfy for those goat beds. That's cool. And I'll tell you what, old towels can do wonders. You know, every time you feel like you should throw them away and you've had them for years, you're never going to have too many towels, in my opinion. Working and lurking. Yeah, I think when I do this next time, I'm probably going to do my next live stream. I'm planning on doing it, let's take Wednesday. I think tomorrow night around maybe 8 or so. I haven't posted it yet because I haven't got on there to post it, but that's kind of my plan at the moment. Let me move this trash can actually out of the way a little bit. Give you guys a little visual. Plus, whenever this trash can gets heavier, I'm not going to want to move it. So that way I can empty it. That's probably a good idea. For my smaller tanks, I use like a smaller pump. So I'm not like the 10s and 20s. I have a smaller pump. So that way you don't shove this big gargantuan thing into a small tank, because I have more of a tendency to smash a fish or something like that. Let me give you guys a close-up view here. But yeah, here's my yellow lab and ACI in here. And this is what I was talking about with keeping a solid tank. As you see how it's like dark right there? I mean, this is good beneficial bacteria. This is why I like keeping like in my big tanks, I like to try to keep a deep substrate, especially for African cichlids because they love to dig. Same with this. I mean, I try to keep a good solid deep substrate so that way that beneficial bacteria all sits within the substrate too. So if I do tank maintenance or filter maintenance, and it won't be hardly any setback, even if I rinse it in tap water. Not that that's a big deal or anything, but that way it's not so I'm not losing any beneficial bacteria hardly whenever I do my filter maintenance, because it's in the substrate, it's in the decorations and everything. So that's kind of why I like doing it that way. Oh, there's some really pretty. These ACIs have been really pretty. Like they've really colored up. I mean, they're only about maybe 1.5 inches long or so. But these guys are like, they got a lot more colorful than the ones that are in the yellow lab and ACI tank. And I don't know if it's just because I have more females, because I believe the females are lighter, because the full grown ones, I'll show you over here if they don't hide. These are the two females. So they're doing okay. Or I'm sorry, one's a female, one's a male. I apologize. I meant to. It's not what I say, it's what I mean. Alright, so that's all the water change I'm going to do with this one. Because I'm running out of room in my... Yeah, that's about 35-40%, and I'm okay with that. I'm running out of room in my garbage can there. I also like using these switches because I want to make sure the seam is safe. I do it before I do anything electrical around the fish tanks, if you know what I mean. I just did my electrical safety CBT. No, not really. What did I do with my water conditioner? Oh, there it is. If you guys were here, or if you guys were not here earlier, we were talking about how my water comes from a well. And the reason why, like, I've done water changes without water conditioner and with water conditioner, and then my results have been kind of the same, but I just do it as precautionary and it's not expensive. But I don't have city water, so I don't have any of that chloramine or chloramine or chlorine. I'll be right back. Alright, that takes forever sometimes to adjust that temperature. Like I said, just one little notch makes the temperature difference. It's crazy. But yeah, these are my last two tanks I need to do water changes on. And then I'll show you guys my plans for what I'm going to do next. I could probably show you now, but I kind of want to pay attention to my water at the moment. Between filling up and putting it in my brute trash can. I'll literally have probably just enough room. So because of this being this long and my hose only being 25 foot, I could probably get a longer hose. It's probably all I need to do, which is fine. I just haven't. But right now, that water from the 40-gallon breeder on the top, this is where it's going. And then I'm going to move this into my bathroom in there because this hose isn't long enough to go all the way in there. So I'm going to literally have just enough room. And I'm also filling up at the same time. But what I usually do if I'm doing this process, I usually do these two tanks here along with these ones here. And I have a smaller pump. So I'm filling this up while instead of using the CJ Ultra Zero pump, instead of using that, I'll use a smaller pump to go in here
and then I'll run that Ultra Zero pump from in here into my bathroom. And I'm doing it at the same time, and I get things done really quick. So I'm filling up tanks while I'm emptying tanks and going into the bathroom all at the same time. So it gets things done really quick. But I honestly probably could just get a bigger hose, or a longer hose, I should say. But that's the only downfall is I do have it. My smaller pump broke. It quit working on me. And I got a new one, and it's here. I just haven't unboxed it yet. I'd say I call it good on this one. It's pretty close anyways. I have a concrete. Ooh. Forgot to unplug you. Did I move you guys? I did a little bit, huh? So, I have a concrete floor, and it's an old concrete floor at that. Do I have any plans to get rid of it and make it look nicer? Nope. It's because of the fish hobby. No desire. I've had more water spill, not tank overflow or anything major, but I've had more water spills in here than I can count. So, no desire to replace the concrete. Now once I start selling fish in here, I either have to make some adjustments to where the concrete's broken a little bit so people don't trip, or I haven't gotten that far yet, because that's my whole plan, is once these fish get a little bit bigger, I can either sell them or donate them to local fish stores. I'd like to sell them and create my own business is my plan, but I think that'll be, that's something I just have to figure out yet, and I haven't. But until then, I have no desire to replace any of this concrete. There's pretty much only a few spots that could be a trip hazard if people come over here, but I'm not too worried about it right now until I get everything going with selling fish. Then I could probably just buy some concrete, I would assume, mix it in a bucket, and then just kind of patch up the spots that kind of need it. So that way it's less of a trip hazard. Probably what I would eventually end up doing. So see how in this python, how I made sure to not keep that valve closed for a long period of time. It's okay to leave it closed for a little bit, but it's like I said, it's not rated for high pressure deadheads, high pressure water. It's more damaging than anything. That's just a thermometer I kind of rigged up. I have not fed any of these fish yet today. I wanted to make sure to get these water changes done and then maybe top off in some of the other tanks. But once this one's done, I'm going to, there's two things I'm going to do with one tank, and then I'm going to do one other thing involving 2 tanks. Well, there's probably going to be more tanks involved actually. Once we're done filling up here, I'll show you guys what the plan is. These guys are lithobate. I'd show you upstairs what they actually look like in adult. They're actually like they're sulfur head lithobate, and they actually get to be blue with like a nice yellow sulfur head on top, which is going to hopefully look phenomenal. A lot of these younger fry, they're only like 1.5 to 2 inches long. They don't really have any color to them, and you're not going to see that for a while. So it's just a big waiting game. But they're growing. You guys are going to never believe what I just did. Nothing major, thankfully. I fixed it, but I flipped this switch on, turned the pump on because it's down in the bottom of this trash can, and I was supposed to be putting it into here. And I still had that end in the trash can from my previous spot over there. So the pump was running, but I was literally just taking water out of the trash can and putting it right back into it. And I came back over, I'm like, why is this trash can still full? Idiot. Yeah, lithobates, unless where it's hard to sell in stores when they're so small because they have no color to them. It's almost like if I want to sell them and they still don't have color, you almost have to put a picture of them like next to the tank, so that way it shows like, hey, this is what they actually look like. You know, you just have to give it time. Yeah, Juanita, I forgot what you said already. Let me go back and see. Let me watch this tank and let me go back to the chat, and since it's almost full. These little babies even, like, they just love to swim in this water pressure. It's crazy. As small as they are, they just love going in it. I gotta stop the water. Whoop, whoop. So I have to say that it is a complete success for water change going live, and I didn't overfill a tank once. So props to me. Oh, let me fix this. Anyways, what I was saying is, I think I've successfully done my mission with doing, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did 8 water changes on all my bigger tanks down here. And I'm doing it live, and not a single one overfilled. But I did a stupid move. But it wasn't anything major. So, can't complain too much. Yeah, Juanita, sometimes I feel like I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached. Yeah, if you do a double water change, you're kind of like doing more work than you need to, but I've done that before too with the hoses. It's crazy what gravity will do, and you think, oh yeah, the pump is off, everything's fine, or the siphon's good. However you want to, however you do your water change, it's like, oh yeah, the pump's off or the siphon's good, and you just kind of leave where it's at, and the water's still depleting, and you're like, wait a minute, I've done that before. Well, I'm 38, Juanita, so I mean I'm not getting any younger. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a rundown of what's happening next. So, bear with me here. I have my pump running for my brick trash can at the same time, but here's what's going on in here. See how these fry were growing in this tumbler before in separate time frames. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I'm back. So anyways, these guys used to be little and they're growing. So the lighter ones are dragon blood and the other ones are red Apache peacocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these dragon bloods into this tank, because this tank has more room than my dragon cage, I like to call. So they're going to go into this one, and then I'll probably feed them a little bit today. So that's the plan, to move those guys in there. And then I'm going to move the red Apache peacocks. They are going to go with these guys, because there's plenty of room in this tank to fit them in here. And this is my dragon cage that like I probably won't even want to put one more fish in here because I have plenty enough in here. So that's what's going on with this, is I'm going to do that now. And then these guys in the tumbler, well, I might do this one second. I'm going to release them inside this tank. So, and then I have to feed them fry food. Then, what I might do first is, I've made this tank here a fresh Mbuna tank. I've rescaped it. I've added an FX2 on top of a wave maker right here. I did have 2 hang on the backs. That's one of them right now. And the reason I have that one there is due to this being a new filter. And I wanted to keep the established media in here with the hang on the back. And I did add some from sponge filters just to kind of help out the FX2 right here that's in the back. And I'm going to change the lighting on a side note on this tank too. But these guys, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, there's only 6 fish in here. There used to be all these guys in here, but they've been hiding a lot. And it's not because of this tank, it's because they used to be in the other tank and they used to hide a lot too. So what I'm planning to do is to try to get them in more of a comfort zone. Is like I said, I explained this on a live stream, is I wanted to redo this entire tank, add new fish in it, or new Mbunas in this one, and let it kind of settle out for a little bit, and then I'll add from this tank a few at a time and see if they slowly get back to a comfort zone, because as you can see in this tank, all they do is hide, and that's all they do in this tank is hide. And they did the exact same thing on that side. So this is my last attempt to try to get these guys to be a little bit more social, and I'm hoping it'll work. So I'm going to move the ACI, the 2 ACI yellowtail, which is this guy here, and there's a female in here. They're all hiding behind these rocks. So, and then I'm going to try to put a few of the smaller yellow labs in this as well, and then let it run its course for a week and just slowly add more fish back into this tank and try to get them a little bit more social, because these guys are a lot more social. They come up to the front of the tank and they're happy, they're energetic. And this is how I want this tank to be. I mean, this is my YouTube, presentable show tank that I want to do in front of my YouTube channel. So I don't want all my fish hiding. Granted, I know they're Mbunas and I like the rock work, but that's not the point. So these guys are doing great. So I'm kind of hoping that these guys kind of act like a dither fish. If you've heard of that, it's basically what makes shy fish come out a little bit more. So I'm hoping that this will work for this. So I think that's what I'm going to do now and kind of watch the situation. Oh, here's the female. So the female ACI is right here. She's a little lighter than the male. The males are a little darker. And they're pretty good. They're pretty mild-tempered. And the labs are supposed to be, but I'm not having too much luck with them. And these are electric blue Johannes. They kind of have a bad reputation, along with, there's an Aratus in here too. The Kenii kind of have a bad rep if you don't keep them in a group of Kenii. But I want to try to start this off a little bit and kind of move some yellow labs around. Hold on a second, guys. So during that whole explanation, my trash can's empty, so I just had to stop that. So let me see if I can set my camera up to look at the Mbuna tank that I'm going to grab out of, and let me see if I can get this to work. I don't know how I'm going to stand this up. Let's see here. It's not really a good spot per se for it. So because of it being a vertical, I would try to give you the best spot possible. But you'll kind of see that they're hooded lights, so the lights are underneath the hood, and I'm gonna have to take the hoods off and unattach them to try to get some of these fish, and I'm gonna put them in here. So this is my first thing I'm gonna do now, is I'm going to move my ACIs into the other 55 in here, and hopefully everyone gets along with the ACIs. They should be able to hold their own, but they're mild tempered too, so let's see how this goes. I'm going to probably top the water off on the other ones as well. So here is my non-tank maintenance that I'm doing right now. So I'm hoping this works out. Thanks, Juanita. Yeah, it was a heck of a rock skate for sure. That's why I'm hoping that this works out, because I really don't want to remove all these rocks to either get a dead fish out or get a bully fish out, you know. All right, fish catching 101. Wish me luck. I know you guys can't see it on camera either, but I'm going to shut the light off on the other tank too. Sometimes the only solution is to remove all the decorations. Alright, so I got the 2 ACIs in. Let's see how things are looking so far. Seems to be okay. Everyone's kind of checking out the new fish, which is fine. I'm doing this one first as opposed to fry because I want to watch over the situation while I'm doing the other stuff to make sure there's nothing happening. So let's, looks okay. So we're going to grab a few yellow labs and put them in here as well. I think I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the yellow labs in here. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There might be more. I might go ahead and put the yellow labs in here just so there's enough fish in here that 2 fish aren't being bullied, if that might be the case. So let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow lab. Alright, so let's assess the situation again. We just added 3 yellow lab, I believe. So there's 1. There was already 1 in here. So there should be 4 in here total. So there's 4 in the corner. It might just take some getting used to. But this is kind of a good test to see if the yellow labs are going to do okay in here. I think that's what I'm going to test out first and then move on to the next step. So now it looks like I have a total of, looks like 5. I mean, there's plenty of spaces to go into. Looks like there's some, might be some action going on down there. But it kind of subsided itself. Well, maybe not. I'm hoping the more fish that I add in here to kind of alleviate some of this aggression. Sometimes this happens when you first put in fish for the first time. So I'm going to keep adding fish and just kind of watch the situation too and see what happens. So we'll go back to this tank again, to fish catching 101. Did I get them all? I feel like I'm missing one more. I don't see them. Must have got all, what, 5, 6? So we'll kind of keep an eye on them in here. And I know Triple's not here yet, or not here, but thanks for coming out. All right. So I have 2 more fish I want to add in here. And it's all going to be yellow labs too. So let me see if I can do that. The 2 labs I'm talking about, I had these in quarantine because they got beat up pretty bad. One's a male and one's a female. So I'm going to put these guys into the tank and then close the tank off. But all that's left in here are the 2 electric blue Johannes. There's an Aratus in here. and the Kenny eye you see there at the stripe. Yeah, there's the Eratus. So that's what I was talking about, one of those full-grown Eratus. I don't know if you can be able to see him, but see how he's this black? That's what a full-grown Eratus looks like. I know that they're kind of hiding at the moment because of what I did, but let me grab these two fish. We'll let you guys watch this tank for a little bit. All right, so here's a look at it live. There might be a little bit of an aggression just because there's so much activity, but I'm hoping that like the act of the dither fish, which is like the 5 or 6 that were already in here, and there might be a little bit of a chase, but then I'm hoping that because of the wave maker I added, the FX2, and all the different, with the aerators in there, and the massive rockscape, I'm hoping that this will kind of help out with the aggression, and then that that the fish will kind of get used to being out and about. And this is my plan. This is supposed to be their final movement, and I do not want to move them at all anymore. So some of them might hide a little bit, but as long as I get some type of activity to kind of get them out a little bit, I'm hoping that'll help. Plenty of yellow lab in there. We'll kind of see what happens. I'll kind of watch the situation closely. I'll do a live stream tomorrow in front of these tanks so I can kind of see the activity. They might be pretty bashful in the beginning, but I'm kind of hoping that some of the active fish will kind of help them a little bit. Because I really don't want to get rid of these guys, because some of these guys I've had, you know, they've been through a lot, but I've had some of these guys since they were babies, when I first got them at the pet store. So I'm just kind of hoping that some of these fish will kind of, you know, not chase them around enough to where they'll destroy them, but at least enough to where, you know, there's plenty of rocks to hide from, there's plenty of water movement. And I kind of like, I know that there's one in the corner right here. But I'm hoping that'll like relieve a little bit, because there's just a lot of activity. So what I'm gonna do too is I'm gonna feed them, so that way that'll kind of distract them a little bit too. Like I said, there's a lot of activity. I know that the ACI yellowtail, they're really pretty mild tempered, but you have to think there's a mix between male and female I just add. But there was a female yellow lab in here already, along with a female one that I got from online. So like, that shouldn't be an issue. I'm just hoping that these guys will like come out, and even if there is an occasional chase, that because of so many fish being in here, that shouldn't be an issue. It actually looks like, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm not. Almost looked like one was holding for a minute there. But yeah, I know they're all kind of clumped up. I'm hoping that like they can kind of get accustomed to being in here with everybody. And then we'll try to go from there. So yeah, like I said, there's only 4 fish left in here. I'm kind of like debating about actually moving these guys as well, but I have not decided yet, because they're all kind of bashful too. I kind of want to see how this situation goes for a couple of days, and then maybe add these guys next on maybe my live stream. I'll do that right before then, and I kind of want to see how these guys go first. But I'm going to keep an eye on them. Like I said, I know there's a little bit of an aggression with this guy. He's a new fish, and they're all kind of crowding around here. But I'm hoping with everything that I've done, we'll kind of settle out, per se, since there's so many of them in here. I know that they're kind of, I'm going to put some water conditioner in here and top the water off and feed them too. So I'm going to do that now. Alright. So I'm gonna feed these guys, and I just topped the water off on both sides of the tank. So I'm gonna go ahead and feed these guys and hopefully get them out and about a little bit. Alright, so hopefully, I don't know if you guys could have seen that or not, or did see that or not, but I was trying to get these guys out and about. Try to get them eating some food. Get them a little bit more comfortable in their zone. Pretty active. Anything to break the line of sight. I feel like with the chases, like even with the ones that are semi-continuous, I feel like there's enough distraction with the amount of fish in here. But like I said, I kind of want to assess the situation at hand. I'll leave it at here for now. I might move the other ones, but let's move to my final situation. Bear with me, guys. All right. So here's my final situation here. This is my final thing that I wanted to do today. Is move fish. This one shouldn't take as long, but I'm basically moving the dragon blood over here to that tank, and then I'm moving the red Apache over to that top 60-gallon breeder, and then we'll be done, and I'll release the fry. Fish catching 101. Here's one. I'm actually going to use the bigger net. Goes a little quicker. Two. There's three. There's three Apache peacocks too. So we're 3 and 3. I'll do the dragon blood first. So we're 3 and 3. We do 4 and 3. Here's 4 and 4. Four and 6. There's 5 and 6. Six and 6. Holy smoke. This is 11 and 6. Got 5 in here. Or 6 and 11, I should say. Six and 13. Six and 14. Six and 16. Six and 17. Eighteen. Eight and 18. Twelve and 18. 14 and 18. And 18. Sixteen, 18, 19 and 18. Twenty-one and 18. Twenty-two and 18. Twenty-five and 18. Almost messed that one up. So 25 and 21. Twenty-five and 22. And I think that might be it. $25 dragon blood and 22 red Apache peacocks. You gonna remember that, guys? 25 and 22. I'm gonna give the bottom a little bit of a cleaning. Sponge filter should be good. I just did maintenance on that recently. Makes it a little easier to see the fry whenever I release them. So remember 25 and 22. I might do just a really quick water change on this. Sorry guys, I'm a little behind on check. This is my final project, and I figured it was going to take a little bit of time. But after this, it should be good. There's this little fry tumbler right here. I'm going to release these guys after the water change. Since I cleaned the bottom up, bottom of the tank, now as well clean the sides while I'm at it. Remember, 25 Dragon Blood and 22 Red Apache. I'm going to add that to my app so I can have a fish count. But these would be the only fry, or the only fish in the tank, is these baby fry. So we'll go ahead and stop it there. And then fill it back up, and then we'll release the fry. wait for this to fill up. Probably gonna go ahead and top this other dragon blood tank off too while I'm at it. Might as well, right? Release the Kraken! Can't remember the count. Remember, it was 25 dragon blood and 22 red Apache peacocks, I believe. And then, as far as how many is in the tumbler, that I'll have to look at my app too, because I did count the eggs on a picture. But I would have to look on my phone, so. All this is just sand on the bottom here, on the bottom of the tank. Alright, so we're just about full, kind of right by the rim of the black border. Topping off the other dragon blood cage. Over here, just giving it a little bit more water. Alright. Whoa! Tripping hazard. Gotta put slips, trips, and falls on my permit. Good thing I filled that permit out. Alright, before I release fry, let me get back to chat here. Let me see if I can catch up on stuff. Looks like Juanita's, I don't know if you're still here. Mexicali's here. I don't know if he's still here, but it looks like 122, so hello to you. Red's here. Hello. I don't know if Juanita's still here. Hey man, thanks for stopping by. It's been a tank maintenance day for me. So, Juanita, I think it is. Could you tell me, or anyone else in the chat, tell me how the Avena feeding went? Because I had to feed it from the back side. That's the only downfall of having the tanks in the window. And just kind of let me know, because it looked like it went okay, and it seems like everything's settling down a little bit. So let me know how the feeding went on that. What the light is on the fry tank. It's just a hooded light. Alright, thanks Juanita. And Red, if you're still here, thanks for hanging out for a little bit. Yeah, it's just a hooded light. It's nothing fancy. A lot of my tanks have the hooded lights on them. Alright, so some of the fish did get left out a little bit. I think that happens because some of them are still hiding. I'm going to go ahead and try to zoom in on this tumbler while I release it, and then I'll give them some fry food and hopefully see if they'll watch. Or I mean, they'll not watch, but they'll kind of, you guys can watch, and then hopefully when I put in some fry food, we can see them eat and have the light on and everything. So this will be my last part of my stream here. All right, so I'm going to try to do this the best I can with you guys. Let me see how much I can zoom in. That's just, like I said, it's just sand on the bottom. So here's my tumbler. Let me show you guys close up, actually. Works pretty good. I got air lines all attached. I have 3 different air lines. One goes to the sponge filter, and then 2 of them give me the option to use tumblers. And I have this tumbler here that I can use, and I even have another one I could use if I wanted to connect another air line. But here's a tumbler that I'm using now, and it's connected to one of those air lines up there. So let's see. Man, I wish I could set this up. Let me see if I can do it this way. Bear with me here. And I'll kind of do it from the front. That looks like a good view, I think. There's probably at least 20 to 30 in here, if I'm not mistaken, but they are ready to be released. All right, so here we go. Let me see if, I don't think I can do this with the light on it, because I need room to be able to release them, but I'll put the hood back on after I'm done here. And all this does is lift off. We have liftoff. This I can just take off. And it's so nice because all I gotta do is take that top off. And hopefully you guys can see this. My hand's probably in the way. I'll try to give you guys a good view. But see all these guys? I hope you can see all these guys. And I can just release them in here. Sometimes you gotta give them a little motivation. piece of hair in here. I'll get that later. Here they go. I can just take this out temporarily until I put it in storage. But yeah, let me take this off and just set it aside. Set aside. That should be good there. I hope you guys saw all that. That's pretty cool. There's all my little babies. Just released. So I'll give them a little bit of a feeding. Fresh out of the tank. Or a tumbler, not tank. This is what I give them. Is this newborn? You just put some water, and I put him in this. And I just shake it. It's just powder too, so. So it just has this little opening on the top. So see, it's in here, and I just kind of shake it, you know, just like that. So it's all shook up in the bottle here. And then I just pour it in. And it'll all kind of all fall to the bottom there, and they should start eating. Usually I do this with a 10-gallon tank, but I purposely set this fry tank up on purpose for this exact reason. So that way, whenever the tumbler is done doing what it's supposed to do and tumble the eggs until they're like this, then I can just put them right in the tank. I don't have to transfer or nothing. But yeah, these are, yet again, more red Apache peacocks. There's got to be, I think, almost 30, I think, in this tumbler. Which is cool. I mean, I have a lot of these things, so. I don't have any full-grown red Apaches at my house. But hopefully, with all the things that I've been doing today, I'll make sure to get the hood light on, so you guys can see a little bit better. Oops, I think I mixed that. Did I mix that up? I did, didn't I? Oh well. It's alright. Let me, yeah, I gotta switch hoods. I actually put the hood on the other one. Hold on a second. Alright. Now that I got the hood light, let me get this on. See if you guys can see it a little better. All the little babies. They're so freaking cool when they're this small. With the little eyeballs. It's pretty neat. tank will clear up, you know, filter will do its thing. But it was pretty cool. So let's do a quick walk around. Let me plug this guy in. Bear with me again. We'll do a walk. I'll walk you around my tanks. Here's the one with all the dragon blood that I put 25 in, remember. So, here are these guys. These are all dragon blood. I added 25 more into here, and I believe there was about 20 something in here to begin with. So they're going to be staying in this tank for a long time until they grow a lot bigger. It's basically my second dragon blood cage, I guess I could call it, which sits across from where I do my live streams for YouTube. So here's where I transferred what was in here. So this is what I look at whenever I'm on YouTube, which is kind of cool. So with that, here's my live stream. It looks like they're doing okay. I mean, I don't see anything too violent. I mean, it's good that I rescaped this entire thing. Hopefully I can get a close view here. Kind of do like a panoramic sort of view. Some of them are kind of hiding a little bit, but I feel like that will go down. Of course, the yellowtail ACI, they're, like I said before, they're pretty calm, mind their own business. This seems to be the popular corner here, but this is what I mean, like with ditherfish. This guy's owned this tank for a few weeks now, and he's like, "Hey guys, get out of here!" And see, this is what I want to see. This is exactly what I want to see. Is whenever ditherfish, they kind of scoot the guys out to try to get them a little bit more, I guess, outgoing per se. And this is exactly what I'm looking for. Is I want a tank that the fish will actually stand out here. See, even the bumblebee was doing a little bit. Like he was actually pushing some of the yellow labs out a little, saying, "Hey guys, come out here. It's fine." And like I said, I added that wave maker, all the bubbles from the aerator, from the pump. I added the FX2. So there's plenty of water movement, plenty of rockscape, a bunch of fish. So I'm hoping this is going to alleviate any aggression issues, and kind of like the other ones that I added here, I act as ditherfish to try to get the other ones out and a little bit more social, which will be freaking awesome. That'll be a solution to what I had with these guys. I know this is not an ideal situation because I don't have any rocks in here, but this was just temporary. So there's 4 left in here. There's 2 electric blue Johannes, there's 1 Aratus, and 1 Kenny Eye. So right before my live stream that I'm probably going to do on Thursday, is I'm going to put those last 4 in and kind of keep an eye on everything while I'm doing that live stream. I haven't posted it yet. But here's one final look. Here's a dragon cage. Here's the 10s, the 20s. Here's all my mollies, of course, that everybody seems to love. This tank's empty. This is what I use my quarantine tank for. Water changes on the Yellow Lab ACI. Water change on my lithobates. These are red Apache. They're kind of showing a little bit of color. I might have to move these guys soon. These are lemon jakes right here. Like I said, when they're this young, they are not going to get much color until they start growing out. We have OB peacocks, which I do have full-grown ones upstairs in my tanks, but you can kind of see that they're getting that blotch look to them, but no colors. They are getting bigger. Some of these are getting about maybe 1.5, maybe pushing 2 inches. Here's ACI yellowtail. The females are looking like this vibrant blue, which is fantastic at this young age. I'm really happy about that. I had 2 yellow labs in here, one female, one male. I had to separate them because the one was bullying the other. But they got beat up, long story short, so I put them in here temporarily until I got my situation assessed on the YouTube front. These guys are, yet again, more red Apache. This tank's empty. These are albino dragon bloods. There's also 4 electric blue Ali in here. They're a little bit darker. Let me see if I can find one. Yeah, there's one. There's one, there's 2. They're a little skittish. These guys, I'm gonna have to double check these guys on my app to see what these guys are, because I'm not 100% sure. But these guys are like the friendliest little guys I've ever seen. Like, they'll go right up to the top when you feed them. It's crazy. These guys are my oldest albino dragon bloods. I believe there's 10 of them in here. They're about 2 inches long, maybe. And they're actually living life to the fullest, so they're really active, and I'm really happy about that, and I'm hoping that they'll last. I think these guys are more to lemon jakes, if I'm not mistaken. I have to check the label on that one as well. Oh, these guys are the lemon jakes. The one below, I believe, insignias. I think that's what these guys are, kind of thing. But I think these guys are insignias haps. They don't have much color to them, but these guys are more lemon jakes. This is supposed to be a Nagara flametail here, but he had Popeye, and it's getting better, but it's just slowly getting better. I've been giving him medication. You'll see here. See, it used to be way worse than that. I gave him a ton of medication, salt baths and stuff, and I did that for about a month or more, and then I actually cleaned. I've been doing water changes every few days to this tank just to make sure it's crystal clear. And I added a hang on the back, which I use specifically for healing fish. There's some carbon in there to keep everything nice and pristine and clean, just to make sure that everything's okay. But he is looking better. I knock on wood, I hope he continues, but it's just slow pace. Feeding him North Fin foods. More yellow labs in here, they're growing. And then more dragon bloods down here. They're about 1 inch long. And then Kenny I here. In my 75, I did a water change on this one. I did a water change on this one. This is more of the red Apache ones that are the biggest ones. They're about 2 inches, along with the ones I added today from the fry tank. And as we continue to go, this tank's empty. I'll be adding fish into this one soon. I did a water change on this one because I'm going to probably put the OBs in this one to try to make room for the smaller tanks. And then these are my Golden Doradas. I did water change on this one too. Filter maintenance. Oop, I forgot to change the lid on this one. But this is my Hap breeder tank. That's an Insignius there. That's a Venusis. Electric Blue Ali. The Insignia, or no, the Lithobate's down there. And then the Hap is down the right there is the Walteri. I'm at 5% battery life. Holy crap. And this is an OB right there, a Dragon Blood, Lemon Jake, Red Apache, and OB female with the male. And that's pretty much it. My phone's at 5% battery life. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. That's all I had to do for today. It's amazing how I have that much battery left. But it seems to be like, if you guys can see, I don't know if my phone got dark on you guys too or not, but it looks like things are panning out a little bit, so I'm crossing my fingers that this works out. But that's it, guys. Appreciate you hanging out. I'm going to I'm gonna go check the chat real quick to see if there's anything I missed. Thank you Red for telling me it's an amazing fish room. I'm at 5% battery, so I'm gonna feed everything now. You might hear this yellow scream or this high pitched screaming, but anyways, appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm gonna go feed everybody now and feed myself because it's way past lunchtime. And I've been down here since this morning doing all this stuff. So we'll catch you guys hopefully Thursday evening. I will hopefully get it posted soon. It'll probably be 8 p.m. Eastern time on tomorrow. I'll do a live stream and then we'll talk more, and then hopefully we'll talk more about my Mbuna tanks. So let's get this yellow screaming or this high pitched screaming out of here. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon, I hope. See ya.